Well, Monday Night Raw after No Mercy, was it going to be good? Was it going to be bad? This is what we're here to discuss. What up, guys? This is Bernie here from Fusion Court, back at you with a What Did We Learn from Raw tonight on September 25th, 2017. And let's just jump right into it. We start off with a Miz TV segment where Miz has Roman Reigns as a special guest. Of course, the Miz goes over Roman Reigns' achievement. The crowd is booing because of the stupid stuff that's been going on. And, Roman says that this was the biggest win of his career. Well, I would say winning your championship would be the biggest win of your career because it was the first one you have, and you haven't had a really big championship opportunity since. But nevertheless, he said it was his big championship, or his biggest win of his career. So the crowd cheers for Miz. Of course they do, because no one wants to cheer for Roman Reigns. And it was a little weird because it was a little interesting here that Roman told one of the Miztourage, whether it was Curtis Axel or Bo Dallas, to go get him a beer. And it was a little bit funny because, they haven't been allowed to say beer or anything alcoholic on the TV show. Maybe they have, but it just felt a little bit of just the wording of it, just Attitude Era-like, in my opinion. I think The Miz was bringing up a good point that Roman choked from Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar in those matches. He choked in those big moments because Roman Reigns was talking that he is, more like the biggest win of his career. Nothing else he did was wrong. But of course, he did choke against those guys because he hasn't won against them, which is foreshadowing, in my opinion, to what I was talking about in our No Mercy review, that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are more than likely going to meet at WrestleMania, whether it's for the title or if it's just for the Universal title. That is still being determined, but what I know is that this is going to be a very, very, very lame, generic booking style that we're just going to have to get used to because it's WWE. They do whatever the hell they want, which is no excuse. This is just, Raw's just not going to be number one priority. Of course, I will do these reviews for you guys, but, just like every YouTuber that does these reviews, it is definitely not on the top of my priority in terms of enjoyment. So anyway, we're going to get a Miz versus Roman match because Kurt Angle comes out and determines that match. But the first match that we're going to have tonight is a tag match between the Miztourage of Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel versus Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. My face was, I did the slanting mouth emoji where it's just very meh. Not sure why we're having this match. I understand that you're still trying to get Jason Jordan over as a baby face, but you put so much pressure on him at the beginning by saying that he's Kurt Angle's son. You also just put him in these title opportunities, which he doesn't deserve, and you don't build him organically. And what do you expect when you don't build him organically? You're going to get this crap. And the only thing that we really need to talk about here is that the crowd just were not into Jason Jordan at all. He got no reaction, and Matt Hardy was there to basically give him the crowd reaction so they can run their little promos on YouTube for TV segments later on the line that he actually does get cheered, when in fact he doesn't. So this match ended with a Matt Hardy twist of fate, 1, 2, 3, and they win that match. And the next thing that we're going to go to is just the Braun Strowman Brock Lesnar promo. And this is just still upsetting to me that this happened. I'm very pissed that Braun Strowman, the guy you built up, just kind of... It wasn't the fact that he only took one... he took the 6 suplexes and then the F5. It was just... Lesnar didn't feel like he was really into that match. He felt very sloppy. Although you could say it sells because of who he is, it doesn't deter the fact that it also helps that the match is good inside the ring. And you can't deny that if the match is not good inside the ring, then it's not. Then people aren't going to remember it, and you want to sell it on this big match. And if it's just the point of making money, then sure, keep doing what you're doing. Make your money, but no one will remember anything about it. Meanwhile, in New Japan, they'll remember the Kenny Omegas, the Okada match. They'll remember that because it was memorable and the match was a classic. I mean, just even, for example, we even had like John Cena and AJ Styles last year. That was memorable. That was classic, the way they went at it. But, of course, we're just going to get these generic bookings, and enough of me talking about that, or else this review will get too long. So the next thing we had is Elias playing his music, saying, enter hometown here, sucks. And this is basically, also talked about Apollo, who also sucks. And then they had a match between Apollo and Elias. So this was a rematch of yesterday's pre-match show. And it's still a match that no one wants to watch. It was very boring. And the only thing I'll say about this is that there was actually Apollo chants. People were chanting Apollo, and I was very confused about that. Maybe it's because they understand what a talent he is, but he just doesn't have the character yet, which I've been saying that you should probably send him down to NXT, let him build that character up, let him know why we should be invested in his character and his storylines. Why should we even care about it? And why should we even care about him? So, going on to that, Elias wins with the drift away, and basically Titus O'Neil and Elias got into a little scuffle there. So, we're going to see where that continues between Elias Sampson and Titus Worldwide. So, then the next thing we had was a Finn Balor promo, and, it's just a very quick, thanks for downing me like a man, to Bray Wyatt. And I might as well just talk about it now because I won't talk about it later, because Finn Balor had a match with Goldust, and it ended up being a very weird, just out of the blue, that Goldust was fighting Finn Balor for no reason other than because Bray Wyatt and Goldust were in a little skerfuffle, and they just attacked each other. So Goldust was very upset that he fought in his honor, and he wanted to fight in his own. So they had beef there. And then in that match, Bray Wyatt, he's got the whole world in his hands, played again, and I think the crowd, along with everyone at home watching, just groaned because we understand what's going to happen. Another match between Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, just a feud continuing on and on. We're getting sick of it, guys. It's time to end this feud. Let Finn Balor do his own thing. Let Bray Wyatt do his own thing. Let Bray Wyatt get off TV. Wait a couple months and then bring him back and introduce him with a Wyatt family, so that way he can look more over and people will be like, oh yeah, we forgot about Bray Wyatt. He's really good, and we'll forget about his losing streak. But I think it's now too late for that because they decided, let's just continue the feud. And, once you talk your talk and then you just lose and lose and lose, the crowd ain't going to take you seriously. Why should we even take Bray Wyatt serious anyway? So this is all I have to say about that. And then we're going to talk about the Kurt Hawkins thing, where he's still on his losing streak. He is still trying to find an opponent for him to fight so he can get his first win. And out comes Braun Strowman, ready to just ruin him. And the biggest OMG moment, and I was like, holy crap, was that Braun Strowman literally ran Kurt Hawkins through the screens at the entrance ramp. There's the screens that, project the Raw symbol or whatever wrestler symbol it is. And he just literally throws him right through the screen, charges right through him, like a running back with the ball on the 1 yard line, just, goal line touch, and boom. I mean, I don't even know if Kurt Hawkins is alright. I'm sure he is. And this led to Dean Ambrose coming out to fight Braun Strowman. Doesn't really make a lot of sense here. Not sure why Dean Ambrose all of a sudden has beef with Braun Strowman. Maybe he was trying to answer Kurt Hawkins' call, I guess, but at the same time, it was still a little weird to see Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman in a match, and I still don't understand why that happened. And of course, it was a little bit of competition, but of course, at the end, Braun Strowman gets the win over Dean Ambrose. The next thing we have is that Enzo wants a championship celebration for him. Kurt Angle grants him one, but says that he's annoying. And the one thing I will say is that if you're a champion and Kurt Angle says, hey, do you want advice? And you say no, how stupid are you to not take the advice of a Hall of Famer and someone that the crowd truly adores? Why wouldn't you take advice from him about how to be a champion? I understand you're trying to build into the character, but logically that doesn't make any sense. Even if he was a heel, I would still listen to what he had to say, but then I would scoff at his ideas. It still doesn't make any sense to me there, but we're going to the next thing, which was the Alexa Bliss segment between her and Mickie James. Alexa Bliss talked her talk on Raw Talk last night after No Mercy, saying all this kind of crap about Mickie James. And it just led to their little skerfuffle. So I think they're going to have a match next week, I believe. I'm not sure if it's been announced officially, but I feel like it's going to happen. And that's the only thing I have to say about that. The next thing we have is the Seth versus Sheamus match, and just remembering what happened to Cesaro and now learning that his teeth went inside of his gums. Ugh. I don't understand how he wrestled after that. I would be crying at home, crying to my mom, asking her, how the hell do I get rid of this? Because, I mean, goddamn, to still wrestle after you've just taken that bump and your teeth are just in your gums, salute to him, man. Salute to Cesaro. Not sure why Vince McMahon says he doesn't have the brass rings. I think he certainly does. He's proven it time and time again, but that's a story for another day and a story that will never get resolved to this day. So then this led to a quick match, and Seth Rollins won the match, of course. And this led to a Finn Balor Goldust interview. And oh no, never mind. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the John Cena Roman Reigns stuff, where it was just a little video package, and John Cena said that this was his best performance as a wrestler. And I have to disagree completely with that, because his classic matches with AJ Styles, his match against Rob Van Dam at One Night Stand, I mean, there were so many examples of John Cena having classic matches or even great matches. I wouldn't call them classics, but I would say that they were great matches against other guys, and this Roman Reigns one was too slow and too methodical for my liking. And the reason why the crowd is more hyped for a AJ Styles and John Cena match is because it's a lot more fast-paced, and AJ Styles is such a damn good wrestler that it is able to, help John Cena tango in this wrestling thing. Last night, what we saw was two wrestlers who are basically a mirror battle, where Wiza said that it's basically John Cena versus Samoan John Cena, and they wrestle the exact same way. It's the same 5 moves of doom, and it's just, kick out after kick out, and, it's not very fun for the fans to watch at home. I mean, if you're a casual fan, I guess you could like it, but I still don't know how you could like that and not like a match from the Cruiserweight Classic. I understand not a lot of people have the Cruiserweight Classic or the WWE Network, They don't have that, but you should still go and find that match. There are still way better matches that Roman and John Cena have put on separately. They're just not good dance partners, and we will move on to the Roman Reigns versus Miz match. I'm just talking about the thing earlier. Is it going to be a good match? It was okay. And what I noticed here is that, it was okay. It wasn't anything special about this match. The Miz is the king of soft style, so of course his gimmick isn't really going to be, 5-star instant classic or even like a 3-star match. This was more like a 2.5, if anything. And the only thing that interesting was here is that basically the Miz lost your champion, your IC champion, who basically now, the belt is just an accessory now. It's not even a championship that holds prestige or anything like that, because you never want your champion to lose, but of course, the champion lost. Of course, it's going to prompt a match for next week, I believe is what I wrote down on my notes. It's going to be next week, a Intercontinental Championship match between Miz and Roman Reigns. And basically, you just do the title dirty because you have your champion lose, and there's no chase for it from a babyface. You just push, and it kind of leads the rumor to WrestleMania 34, title versus title, to new heights, and basically we're going to get generic match at 34, another coronation for Roman Reigns, as if 4 wasn't enough, we're going to get 5 times now that Roman Reigns is going to main event on WrestleMania, if the rumors are to be correct. So after the match between Miz and Roman Reigns, the Miz Taraj, we see that they end up just beating down Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns gets his Superman hero move where he fights off the Miz Taraj, but of course there were no match once they brought in the steel chairs. Even though he has a protective vest, he is still selling these chair shots as if he has no vest. I mean, the chair shots to the vest should at least impact half the blow. It shouldn't really hurt him at all, but I don't know what WWE is going for there. So, like I said, it's going to lead to a match next week where we're going to get Roman Reigns versus The Miz for the IC title. And then we're going to talk about the tag team women's match between Bayley and Sasha versus Nia and Emma. Of course, the babyfaces were going to win. for some reason, Bayley got the pin after she got pinned last night. And I don't know if this is to just get her pin back. I don't know if it's just to, like, the swink the fans, because everyone predicted that Emma was going to take the pin last night. Well, tonight she took the pin, and a little sad to see because she is a great wrestler. I think she can compete with the likes of a Sasha and a Bayley, but, you know, WWE isn't going to give her the light of day. They'd rather push like a Nia Jax, and, you know, once Asuka comes, I'm sure they will, hopefully, I mean, this is wise thinking and this is wishful thinking. You know, will WWE let Asuka just run with the belt and, you know, have the longest women's title reign in WWE history? I hope so, because she deserves it, and there's no one on that roster better than her other than Sasha Banks who can compete. But anyway, that's besides the point. This was just a lame match and nothing very interesting, and which leads us to the main event. After I went on a huge rant last night about the Enzo Amore Cruiserweight Champion fiasco, here is where he has his, you know, coronation. He takes shots at Big Cass, saying that, you know, am I holding you down when I'm the one who won the first championship before you? He also said that people are jealous because of the way that he got to the championship, he got to the top. Even though there's a lot of backstage politics and heat on Enzo Amore, he somehow won the Cruiserweight title. Still, to me, makes no sense, but I'll continue on with what I said. You know, he compares himself to John Cena, Batista, and The Rock, saying that he's got mainstream pull, which he's got pull from the hype beast and sneaker community just because he was on the Complex show talking about sneakers, because I am a hype beast myself and I like sneakers, so that's the only reason why I know that. But to me, the rest of the people that are sneakerheads, they're only going to know the old school wrestlers such as The Rock and Stone Cold. They're not going to know Enzo Amore, and the only reason why Enzo Amore was over is because he was a babyface with Cass, and they had catchphrases that were, you know, very, very funny to say, just fun stuff to say. It wasn't anything like it is now where it's, oh my god, please get off my TV. So this is where the Cruiserweights come out. Everyone from Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, Grand Metalik, the whole division comes out and is very upset with the way that Enzo has been talking about him. And, you know, Enzo takes his shots at Cedric Alexander about charisma, takes shots at Rich Swann about his dancing routine, and also about Grand Metalik and his gut, and a bunch of other wrestlers that, you know, we'll get in, that'll be later. And this is where Neville comes out. He cuts he's very upset with the way that Enzo has been treating this division as a joke, which, in my opinion, and everyone else's opinion, I mean, there's no debate. He's definitely treating this division like a joke. Like, the guys of a Cedric Alexander can't win the title before him is absolute ludicrousy and something that should be blasphemous. That should have never happened, but of course, you know, WWE wants to do whatever they want with Enzo Amore. I thought they were going to give him the belt just so they could customize it for a certified G belt and sell merchandise, but it looks like he's going to have a heel turn. I mean, they could still make merchandise off of it, but, you know, nothing. But usually with the heel, you don't give him like the fancy and funky jewelry or change in the title that drastically. So Neville is here to end Enzo, and I guess in the rematch clause, somehow, some way, you're not allowed to touch your opponent if you want a rematch. Not sure where WWE is just making up these rules now as we go along. I feel like some of these rules make sense, some of them don't. And for here, it just doesn't make absolute sense. But Neville forgoes his title match against Enzo and just beats the crap out of him. The whole Cruiserweight division is with him. I really wish it would have been a brutal beatdown, kind of like the Nexus, where they all just beat up on Enzo Amore, but I don't know if that would fly on TV, even though they've done it before. It would have made for great television, in my opinion, if they would have just beat him down, because nobody likes him, and it'll further prove that he is buried, but he will still be given opportunities just because he's a great talker on the mic, and I would say he carried about a decent match, like 5%, so Neville was 95, Enzo was 5. But anyway, This Raw was very very long again. You could feel that it's 3 hours. Again, I'm still upset about No Mercy, and it's whatever happened there. It was just very... I don't even want to talk about it anymore. That's how disgusting I was about No Mercy in general. But this Raw was to, I guess, lead to something that I'm not... Other than it now foreshadows what I was hearing in the rumors was that the IC title was going to go to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is going to bring that title to WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar in a title versus title match. Other than that, we also know that the Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt feud will never end. We will always get this match. So annoying that we're going to get this match again and again and again. When is WWE going to learn that we don't want to see Bray Wyatt face against somebody because all he does is talk and all he does is lose? And we don't want to see Bray Wyatt lose because some of us actually like him. We understand his character. It makes sense. But you took away the family, you took away the World Heavyweight Championship, and you left him with a pile of crap. Anyway, guys, this is my What Did We Just Learn and review, talking about the results of what happened tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're interested in Dragon Ball content, it'll be on the channel. Make sure to listen to the Gimmick Cast. We talk about lists. We talk about everything sports, music, Dragon Ball Z related. Anything you want on the channel you can find here at Fusion Corp. And for that, guys, I will holler at you guys later. Peace!